This time we're breaking down an entire 2-star base. As always, we do a Skelly Donut in the center, so we can create a path around the base. First, we analyze its strong point and its weakness. It has 2 isolated multi-inferno with natural barrier, which makes it harder to reach. Put your troops in a slow burn, and with both heroes at good defending positions. One thing worth noticing is it's got a hard-hitting splash damage defense comboed with a hard-hitting single-targeted defense. That makes me harder to approach the town hall area, whether I'm charging in with Sui heroes or smaller unit. Moving on to the weakness, we got this scatter shot towards the outer rim, which could lead to easier access for our flame flinger, but it's covered by this crossbow. Still, we can reach it without getting hit. And all of his crossbows was selected air mode. That means shorter reach. But if I'm playing air troops, that'll give me a hard time. So we'll keep that in mind. And I want to point it out, this particular crossbow at the bottom section. It is the one that is closer to the edge. What does that mean? On the upside, it puts on the pressure right in the beginning. The moment I deploy, it'll start laying down fire. But we can work with that. Now, if it were placed in the middle, it has more covering ground, you see? It could either cover the left section or other section, so to speak. It's simply protecting those splash damage defense. Now that it's placed it on the outside, it could not do that. We'll keep that in mind as well. Early that I mentioned what this type of crossbow could do to our troop, since it's placed it on the outside. It could put on a pressure right from the beginning. But if I'm placing a tank, such as Golem, this would have less effect on me. By the time crossbow done shooting at my Golem, other unit would have reached the crossbow. And that's exactly what I did. Now, during the period from Town Hall 12 to 14, I agree dragons are some of the strongest troop. It is reasonable to select air mode with all crossbow. By the time you reach Town Hall 15, you see more and more ground mode crossbows. Personally, I think it's because even though we have 2 additional heroes later on, the game's strategies are still surrounded by king and queen, and things get even more drastic when the game designers added in heroes equipment. Not to mention the troop that we all know that trashed all walls. I'm not talking about wall breaker. It's simply brain dead. I'm very disappointed. You have to believe that I have all my reason to be upset. Without a doubt, walls are the most expensive defense investment for the past 10 years. And now they introducing this troop in such a late game era. That's just downright awful. Compare this you-know-what to Golem. No matter how many Golem mites it produces after the Golem dies, it will not match the effect of breaching walls till it dies. Not like some Christmas event like Goat Riders, who only breaks wall in a short period of time. The only explanation is the develop team is on some kind of drugs. Apologies of my complaint. We'll now focusing on the breakdown. Since all crossbow are air mode, we can consider ground unit to do our attack. Meanwhile, my flame flinger, although still get hits by crossbow, but it won't have the effect if the defender had selected ground mode expose. It means my flame flinger could do more damage. And something I like about this base is it's common, but still worth mentioning. It's got this little gap to misguide any troops. If you're familiar with my strategies, I'll embrace it. Having the advantage of not bringing any wall breakers simply generated more capacity for my troops. Moving on, this base is not high density in the core. Otherwise, I will send in blimps with super archer or super wizard to grab some high value target. As always, when I'm up against this kind of base, I'll simply do Skelly Donut. Primarily is to take down clan castle alongside with some high value target. Took me a while to decide, and now I'm taking down clan castle alongside with single targeted inferno. After that left us with a unbalanced donut, but we can manage that. And I kept thinking, what else could I get besides these two? It only cost me a few spells to have the massive bonus effect. After a simple calculation, I grabbed a nearby crossbows as bonus, since it's in range of our invisible spells. Let's see how we can seize this opportunity. After this strategic movement, the crossbow is down, means we have more effective range for our flame flinger. Hopefully it'll grab multi-infernal and scattershot, meanwhile burn down royal champion. To accommodate this huge funnel from flame flinger, our Sui could going for the town hall section, with single infernals being destroyed as icing on the top. It makes our heroes doing a better job. I'll make sure this gets funneled, prevent my heroes to wander off. The rest of the base will assign to my main force. Did you notice the air sweeper? It's pointed at a peculiar angle, which left the rest of the base unprotected from air troops. I should add that to my advantage and reconsider my strategies. I should play hog riders if I'm doing ground troops to immune all walls. But if you look closely, the placement of queen and bomb tower were at the center of the remain portion. Dangerous approach if I'm doing hogs attack. Now I could neglect air mode crossbow with dragons and rendezvous at the cross point without air sweeper knockback, but the entry point is tied down to the air defense, losing the flexibility to serve as my king and queen's right flanks by entering from 3 o'clock if necessary to make my king and queen live longer. Because if we're doing dragon's attack, we want to hit the air defense right from the beginning while the troops are healthy. Unlike Lalo, where it's a shield and sword type of troop with more flexibility, either going both ways are suitable. Now I just gotta make sure them stepped in this area, for this multi-infernal might cripple the whole Lalo team. In a nutshell, we'll deploy our flame flinger, make sure the motor and archer tower go down before we deploy, or simply distract them with barbarians. After that, Skelly the center, then our Sui group at the bottom, and last but not least, Lalo to clean up the rest. And that should be it. And with that bombshell, let's see the replay.